Hi, my name is Ellie, welcome to my channel, and hopefully this is the start of a actually uploading type situation. I have my hair pinned back. Oh, I cut it all off. Hopefully the other video made it up to you guys, and you saw that I did have a moment and chop all my hair off because I am impatient. I had been bleaching my hair for quite a long time. I started to grow it out because I, wanted to have my natural hair color again, and I wanted to do other things to it, like perm it, that are not a good plan if you have damaged processed hair. So I grew it all out. I chopped off most of it. I think I have maybe one or two cuts left until I just have natural virgin hair again. Woohoo! But in the time that I have been having so many complications and failures to make videos for you guys, I bought some stuff, and I need to slowly start using them in videos. Some sugar pill did make it up. I do think I got at least one video up with this, despite the fact that I made like 4 that failed. But I used it. It's quite nice. I am starting a new job on Monday, so I don't really know when I'm going to have another good chance to involve this in daily makeup, but I do want to use it for what I bought it for, which is a way to bring in pops of color to my other palettes. I got my anniversary gift, the Metropolis palette, from my boyfriend. I picked up the Give Me Glow Christmas Morning palette because it came back and I had not stopped thinking about it since last year. And these are going to be a big rant video. Not because of them themselves, but because of the overall Anastasia situation, the Norvina situation, the overproduction of palettes. But they were on sale, they were things I've been wanting and thinking about, and I really wanted to give Carly and Jackie some props for good palettes. So I purchased them, and I'm going to use them, but not this time. This time, we're doing a Get Ready With Me with the Natasha Denona Love palette, which is what I got for birthday, Valentine's, anniversary, because my very patient boyfriend, my birthday is the 13th, day after that is Valentine's Day, and the day after that is our yearly anniversary, so we have kind of a gauntlet of presents and activities and celebrations, and it's a lot, and he puts up with it quite well. I also want to use this burgundy mascara again. I've worn it once, and I liked it, but it was kind of a throwaway day, so I want to actually make it into a look that I intend to wear for the remainder of the day. It is really nice outside, so I'm probably going to go for a walk. We also have big family dinner tonight. Oh, I should take my ring off before I smear stuff around with my hands. Like usual, I am using the Shiseido Urban Environment UV Skin Protector because it is a really good base, and sunscreen. You need sunscreen. Wear your sunscreen. Wear a physical sunscreen, like this, that you can put on under your foundation, not have to reapply, and it works all day. And if you have oily skin, aggressively oily skin, like I do, it's going to do a really good job of keeping you matte, like nothing else really does. I'm also going through some lip balms, if I can ever get them off, like this one, so. So, I have a bit of a plan. We will see how it goes. Like usual, foundation. This is too light for me. This is Marshmallow from Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. The last time I got a foundation from them, it was just a hair too dark, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the lighter one. And I couldn't remember what color I had gotten previously, which I'm gonna... There we go. I didn't remember what color I had gotten previously, so I was like, oh, this one looks light and pale, which I've had a big run of things being too pale on me. So I'm mixing it with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte and making overall a pretty good color for myself. If I say so. Could have a lot to do with the fact that the L'Oreal Infallible is actually my color. When I wear it by itself, it's a really, really good match. So this just helped me use up a color that is way too light for me. So, goals. I have... So, at my last job, I had never really, truly adjusted to the start time of 7:30 in the morning with a half-hour commute. And so I was really, like, I had a couple bursts, but I consistently did not wear makeup. Like I had been for, like, 4 or 5 years previously. So I was not getting much usage, and that kind of went on. And with trying to do stuff and all that on the weekends, I wasn't even always wearing it on the weekends, so I was missing out on a lot of the usage that I had come to expect. Sorry. Since this face is in shadow, it looks like I didn't get as much coverage, but I did. I'm fine. Didn't freak out. Yeah, I did not get as much usage as I had been getting, so I wanted to... I kept trying different things. I still never really found a good routine for getting it to work. And that's all on me. I'm really bad about maintaining and respecting a bedtime for myself like an adult. But I am starting a new job on Monday, so by the time this is up, I will have already been there for a while, and I do believe it has a later start time, which is not a reason I was taking the job, but a nice perk. I'm taking the job because it is a pay bump. I'll be making $2 more an hour at the new job, and it's a bit more stable. I did very much like the job I was doing and the people I was working with at my previous job, but the company got bought and it's very unstable and a lot of people were leaving and I just got very nervous. And I reminded myself that you should always be keeping track of where you can get something better. It's not great, but a lot of companies rely on you to not question if where you're at is the best. They like you, like we saw a lot in the transition, was people coming in saying, oh, it's business as usual, just keep working. Don't ask too many questions, don't speculate, just keep working. Which does something. It prompts you not to say as much about your anxieties, which, if there's still a possibility that company transition is just fine and everybody keeps their job or even maybe makes more, which is unlikely. And speculation could, in theory, make people panic and leave. But the company is only sellable if it's still functioning, which means it is in the higher-ups' best interest for everybody to just keep doing their job day in, day out, nobody to leave until the new company decides who it is and isn't keeping. And then potentially people who did not look for jobs or did not start polishing their resume and everything, they're kind of behind anybody who was nervous and did start the job search early if there is a layoff. So, I was doing that. I was not really looking for anything. I was just hoping to be in the same company for a good chunk of time and be happy. I want to just be at a company that I like, doing a job that I like, and stay there for like 10 years. I want to like my coworkers. I want to know my job. I want to know the other departments well enough that I can pull them in when they're relevant and be confident that what projects or problems I'm bringing to them are things they can do. And I really wanted that, and I want to just be in a company that I'm happy with. And I was pretty happy with that company, and then they sold themselves. Oh, I put on setting powder. So, starting a new job. I don't know what the office environment is like yet, so I don't know how many makeup things I can get away with there. Where was I going? I don't know. But I had not been wearing as much makeup, and I will hopefully be able to do that at my new job and get some more usage on my products, because I do. I like when I'm wearing makeup. I like when I'm testing out new things, and I kind of like the idea of making up some just really standard day in, day out, these are my go-to looks. I had a big phase of like making up new and interesting color combinations and testing out new everything. And I think there is a big place for that, but I also think that if I spend too much time trying new, I'm never gonna find my favorites. And you get further into things and you're trying to be so different with your makeup that you start doing things that are not really functional. A lot of the really cool looking avant-garde makeup is stuff you put on, you take a picture, and then it all falls apart. So I am interested in finding my makeup preferences. I'm putting on eyeshadow primer, which is so close to dead, but it's still in there, so I'm still using it. Ooh, and I have eyeshadow on my hand from earlier. Just some strong highlight, it's fine. It's pretty. I like it a lot. So my goals for this year are to do my Project 30 pan, to get back in the habit of wearing makeup, to work, to get a good system going on that, and do some Shop My Stash stuff, do some overall good for me things. I had started getting in a habit of going to the gym, and then stuff came up, and then stuff came up, and I would go to the gym for a couple weeks, and then stuff would come up, so I need to also nail down a good system for that, because I had lost some weight. I was making progress, and then I don't even remember what happened. Again, something that I used as a reason not to go to the gym. That's where the end of that story is. I would have stuff with friends, so we would go out instead of going to the gym, or I would want to come home and see my niece and nephew on the days that they were at home before, instead of going to the gym, so I wouldn't go to the gym after that, or like Thanksgiving, Christmas, holiday parties, and stuff like that happened. I'm just putting down a Franken base shade that I've made that is very good for setting my, as you can see, it's a very good match for my skin tone, because I mixed enough beiges together and some white because I am a corpse. I made a lot of it, so in theory I will not be out of this base shade in a long time. And I did put that primer under my eye, so I'm setting down there too. And then I'm gonna put this pale gold shimmer on my brow bone, and kind of as a, lazy base for my inner corner highlight later. So yeah, I like that. We'll close that for now. Just keep accumulating stuff over there. So, I have a plan. I want to basically use a combination of Heartbeat and Heart, and probably Lifetime, to make just like a nice, warm, ready, whatever. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to start by putting down Heartbeat, but I'm going to use kind of a pointed brush. I'm going to use this like pencil brush so that I can place it, and then I can go over it and blend it out with Heartbeat without having too much going on. What did I say about too much going on? calm down eyes. See, this is something I've been kind of testing out, is sometimes putting down the darkest shade in a spot first, and then being able to make it a thing. Because sometimes I will make a look and I will go to deepen it up and it won't stick properly over other pieces, or in order to, I'll end up covering up the crease shade with the deepening shade, and I'll end up blending out further to get that transition shade to show up, and then everything just gets worse. I'm spending way too much time, and my eyeshadow ends up way bigger than I intended. So, I am testing things, just I don't want to test them every day like I used to. And with the right effort, I could probably blend that out without something else. With enough effort, a lot of Natasha Denona blends out itself. So I'm taking this softer fluffy brush for Heartbeat to start beginning that blend, and work it further into the crease. Because I have done some stuff that gives me a softer, smaller blend that I quite liked. So I've been playing with techniques and trying to find that perfect structure for me. It is nice. Eventually I want to have a nice long talk about how many colors I didn't think I liked until I tried them in makeup. Like red eyeshadow is something I would have been like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. But like a nice red is so pretty. And I'd be just like wearing like a red. They're so nice. A little bit aggressive, but pretty. I'm going to take a touch of that red on a bigger fluffy brush and make sure we've got, kind of just sweep that through my crease and underneath, and then start blending. So yeah, Natasha Denona does very good mattes in my opinion. Her shimmer formula kind of depends on the palette. Sometimes it's awesome, sometimes it requires a bit more touch and play than I always want to put into it. But when I originally looked at this palette, it was very, very pink, and now there's more happening than I had originally thought. I've also found that blending the edge of the matte before you go over it with the shimmer can sometimes have a lot to do with how that stuff lays on, because a lot of the Franken shadows I made are not fully opaque. Like, you can build them up, but they're also really nice as soft washes. So, playing with some non-opaque colors. So let's put down Lifetime on that pretty little inner spot. So yeah, I was wearing makeup less. I was not even, like, on the days on the weekends that I could wear makeup sometimes, I was wanting to do less interesting stuff, and since I wasn't wearing the easy standard makeup throughout the week, I wanted to do looks that were less colorful, less obscure, and then I felt like I was not really appreciating the color that I had that I only got to play with on the weekends, which I think will probably still be the case at the new job. It's unlikely that they're gonna let me do really bright, like, rainbow looks and stuff at the new job, but we will see what the office environment is like. And I felt silly making a bunch of neutral looks because that is not what my channel had been. My channel had been more color and more, at least I tried to make it more colorful stuff and different ways to wear color, and because most of the stuff I was doing was stuff I found interesting, which at the time was color. Still is a lot of color. Yeah, that's really pretty. I wonder if I can get away with Lifeline on my inner corner. Maybe, maybe not. I feel like it might be too dark, but we will see. I have a small brush, and if it is too dark, we can layer over it with a highlighter, which is probably what we'll do. Can't complain too much about there not being good inner corner highlights because I'm pale. Most isn't a good inner corner highlight for me. And I like things that are more widely useful. So yeah, that is a little darker than I want, so I'm going to layer it with Rose Quartz highlighter from Becca. And I picked up this huge brush, not fully intentionally, but it's what we're using. Because it's in my hand. It's soft and pretty. And I want a little more. Okay, I look done. Let's do the rest of the face. See, I put the camera where I normally put my brushes when I'm done with them, so I'm stashing them over here on my nightstand, and it is not the best plan. But we'll make it work. So, over the last year or so, I've become quite kind of jaded about makeup stuff. I'm really uninterested in so many of the new brands. I am a lot less invested in brands supporting at least most of the big brands. I'm still very excited about indie makeup, indie brands. Oh, I'm using Bare Minerals Warmth Bronzer on a big brush. I feel like I spent some time trying to, like, find my brand that was going to be, like, my favorite brand, because there were so many people that I saw that were like, oh, their brand is Kat Von D, or their brand is Too Faced, or their brand is MAC, or whatever, that you knew that they liked, pretty much liked and bought products from these brands regularly enough that if there was something coming out, they were likely going to buy it. I had not really figured out that these people were sponsored by brands a lot of the times, and or had just been lucky that they found a brand that really fit or worked for their aesthetic, as opposed to, like, seeking out a brand that was their brand. I wondered if Too Faced was mine, I wondered if Tarte was mine. I wanted Urban Decay to be mine back in the day, but I haven't had a ton of exposure to their face products. And Like, I do not like Primer Potion. It doesn't work for me. It's not the formula that I want in a eyeshadow primer. Just like a concealer lid doesn't really work for me. It's not something that I see functioning the way like an actual like set down primer does, because concealer creases on me. I have oily lids. It's gonna crease and I'm not down for that. Yeah, so I had this theory that I could have this one brand that was gonna make the perfect foundation, the perfect primer, the perfect eyeshadow, the perfect mascara, all this stuff for me, and I thought I could find it. I'm less and less thinking that's the case. I'm thinking that some brands really excel at certain formulas that work for me. I think that Natasha Denona has a very good eyeshadow formula for my preferences. Currently, there's no guarantee that it'll stay that way because she doesn't change it so often. Shiseido has a really good primer for me in that sunscreen. Blush is really hit and miss. Some blushes work, some don't. I've been panning so many blushes that I don't know my preferences as much as I used to. Highlighters are also pretty flexible for me. Brows, hit and miss. Some brows I really like, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wear it for a while, and once I'm done panning it, I never want to see it again, even if it did work quite well for me. I feel like once I finish panning certain things, I'm not going to know what to do with myself because I've been working so hard to multitask these items to get rid of them for one thing that I'm not going to know what I like for brows. I'm not going to know what I like for other stuff. So I'm just putting down wax now. Oh, that was my Franken blush. And I've seen that running over it with the bronzer helps soften any edges, make it mix into my skin nicely, because that is still, when I use it with the right amount, it's a nice blush for me, but if I get too aggressive with it, it is not a good blush for me. It goes too dark too fast, and then I look a little ridiculous. More ridiculous than I always look. So yeah, the things that come out that I'm interested in are so often indie brand stuff now, and you think that would reflect my purchases more, but I do, Give Me Glow is an indie brand, and I really, really like what I got from them. I've bought some Terra Moon cosmetic stuff. I have a Cleana cosmetics order coming pretty soon. I ordered something else too. I don't remember. As I throw my brow brush on the ground and hit my head on my end table while trying to pick it up. It's a good day. Well, actually, it is a good day. I had a good night last night. That'll do. It is a good day, I insist. It's nice outside. I slept in. I ate some delicious leftovers for breakfast and for lunch. I made these curried meatballs for our last potluck at work, and they're so good. I was undecided when I first made them, but then reheating them and eating them since, I'm into it. They can stay. I will make them again. And we're gonna have a delicious family dinner tonight, so I am insisting on a good day. I realized that I have been doing this as a panning technique so long that I don't really have any other brow stuff. Like, I don't have a brow pomade anymore. I don't have a brow gel. I have a brow pencil that I take out every once in a while, but even then, I put it down and then I'm like, you don't have a spoolie on the other end. What am I going to do? I have to go get my brow brush anyway. So, it's not to the point that I open up eyeshadow and I'm like, ooh yeah, that's gonna be a good brow color, but the eyeshadow brows are a thing I'm liking a lot lately. They're still quite stark for my face, but that's not gonna stop me apparently. I have better days where I don't put on too much, or when my hair's down, it doesn't look quite so stark. We'll get there. Highlighter. Ooh, what do I want to use? We're gonna use this one because I'm not really sure any of the Eyes of Beverly Hills goes with this look because they're all so cold. But we use that on the inner corner, so we will use it on the other part, and it'll be a nice little tie-in. And I am also panning this. It's very soft, it's very office friendly. It's nice. Okay, nope, I just had a thought. Once we're done putting this down, I'm gonna put something else down. I also think potentially if you were using less powders or setting your face at a different stage, you would get a lot more payout out of this, because by the time I'm putting this down, I have set my foundation with powder, I have used a powder bronzer and a powder blush that all kind of end up in this area anyway. I think based on what you're using, you might get a better look out of other things. I'm going to put on some of this. This is Red Giant from Terra Moon Cosmetics. It is what is in my little swatchy do, and it is so nice. A lot is picked up on the brush, so you kind of have to put it on softly. And you can get this really nice glow. Like, literally, that's about as much as I'm using. Because it does have a very strong base, a very, very strong white base, if you don't kind of shear the crap out of it. But it has such nice, oh, we're being dangerous. It has such nice glow. And you can't see it on camera very well because it shows up as pink, but it is red. I promise you it is red. Just, if there was a way to be like, go see it in person, you'll understand. But there's not a good way to go see it in person because they are an indie brand with an online shop. As far as I know, you can't get it in person anywhere. So, goals for the future. Wear makeup the amount that I want to wear makeup. Get more use out of it. Get back in the good habit of going to the gym and maintain that. Meal prep better. I fell into a little bit of a ditch near the end of my time at previous job, in that we were ordering a lot of food. If we had a bad day, we'd order food. If we wanted to celebrate something, we'd order food. And it's expensive and not super healthy. So I want to get better about that. Yeah. I want to do those things. I do want to go on some road trips. It's been a while since I took a road trip, other than the one which wasn't a road trip. I did go to Denver last year, but it wasn't a road trip. That was a bachelorette party, and then there was also a wedding road trip, but that was just kind of me by myself for the 2 days. I want to go see some stuff around the area I'm in. I want to do stuff. We were talking, me and my friend, about places we went for field trips as like elementary and junior high kids that we remember going there. We don't remember the historical significance or what we learned, so we want to go back. I really am interested in getting to know my area and having cool places to go and taking little weekend trips. So we had a good string of going to concerts for a while, but I feel like concert tickets are getting a little harder to get with the amount of people buying and reselling, like, immediately. We wanted to see My Chemical Romance, who are back together, and I'm very excited about it. There were two different places. They're not coming to St. Louis, but there was one we were willing to road trip to. Well, two places we were willing to road trip to, and the prices were higher than we were expecting, and then there was a huge line for ordering, and so many of the tickets got bought and then immediately put up for resale for like 5 times the cost. It's like the lower end reasonable, like the kind of tickets you would want to actually use, going for like $600. So yeah, I've been seeing that a lot. We saw that with the Ludo concert as well, that people were buying and reselling the tickets instead of just, some people. So scalpers have just moved up. They're just doing it all through the Ticketmaster stuff now. Twenty-One Pilots did a pretty good, oh no. 21 Pilots did a good system in that they had like verified fan pre-sale type stuff, and that you just kind of had to go and prove you were a person, and they'd give you a code to get on early, which even then, those sold out pretty quickly. But we were able to get them and not have to worry about going through paying an exorbitant price for resale tickets. So I don't know if it would be useful for the sites to start doing some type of resell tracking system to so people complain about the return policies for places, but it is to track fraud most of the time. I get if you're not somebody who's ever worked in retail or had to deal with theft and return, why a return without a receipt seems completely normal to most people. But to a lot of people who've worked in retail, return without a receipt is often a sign that somebody stole something or stole a chunk of something and are returning it to get cash. It's one way to not have to resell the thing that you stole and not have to steal the cash. You swipe some cheap items, you take them home, and then later you try to return them for cash, because then you're selling the thing you stole back to the company. Yes. It doesn't work every time, but sometimes you can take your spoolie and scrape off the dried mascara when you get it somewhere you don't want. I do like that mascara's turning out nice. I think it's one of those ones that has to be with certain color stories, and I wore it over a smoky eye the other time, which is probably why it didn't work as well. I'm also trying to go through my lip products. I have so many options. Why do you give me so many options? I guess we'll go with this one. It says Charlotte Tilbury Walk of Shame, which I have too many of these bricky red colors. And the lipstick kind of dries out a little bit. Because this is the same color as the Rosewood from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but it's kind of sheer. So it takes a little bit to build up to be the same color. It's weird. have been spoiled by stuff like Bite Beauty, where it's just the opaque color right out the bat all the time. Whereas this is going to deepen up throughout the day as I reapply it over the remnants. It's a thing. But we're panning. So yeah, if they did some type of system where they tracked how often people bought tickets and reposted them for sale, maybe they could try and cut down on that. But I also don't think that the ticket apps care as much because they get a cut. It's a business, and that they get a cut of sales and service fees and stuff like that. Whereas the rest of us trying to go to see things, and the artists trying to get their fans to see them, are very annoyed at the robotic buying and, manufacturing scarcity of the tickets. It very much changes your fan base if you can only get people who are willing to pay $600 for the tickets. It's supposed to be people who really like the band and want to go see them and are willing to drive to a different city and get a hotel and everything to try and see the band that they want to see, because the band is not coming to your city. Or just who really, really want to go see their favorite band or something. Ranting, getting off topic. So yeah, you see, I like what turned out. It's nice. I need to use it more. So far, this is like the third or fourth look I've done with it. I've done one with the pinky shade and some of these. I did a purple look. It was quite nice. I love this purple. It doesn't look like a purple, but it is. It's a cream to matte purple. Something that was in one of the videos that didn't work is I really want, if it's back here, I really want Natasha Denona to come out with one of these minis that is all just cream to matte dark shades. Because I have some of them. I was exposed to the teal in the gold palette, and it has been downhill ever since. I want it in all the shades. I have another teal, a blue, and a green in that formula of really, really deep, moist shades. In the Metropolis palette, I have the purple now from the Love palette, and they are awesome for deepening looks. They don't have fallout, they stick down, they layer nicely. You don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to show up over what you're using it. It will. And it blends out nicely, it sets, it's not patchy. They're so good. That is one of my favorite things, is her matte cream to powder formula. It's so nice. It's so good. And I need her to come up with one of these that is just all dark matte cream to powder shades. So you can have this, pair it with whatever the shit you've got, and make a ton of really, really gorgeous, complicated looks, because you can now get the true opacity without things over-blending or under-blending or not sticking properly. You could take all sorts of things you already have that are, because there are brands that are putting out things that are lighter formulas, where'd it go? I had it in here. I did. I can't feel it. Whatever. We'll talk about these then. So if you had something like the electric palette, you have all these, which are, for the most part, the purple is pushing it, but most of these are mid-tone shades. If you had a set of dark mattes with the right formula to layer over these and play with them, you could make a ton more looks. You could make these looks a lot more approachable. If you have stuff that you don't like the layering of the other things. I'm rambling, but you'd have it. It's a good thing, and I want it, and I don't think... There it is. Sugar Pill palette. This plus, my theoretical dark matte cream to powder things would make a ton of really, really cool looks. Pair it with your random, your old naked palettes and stuff like that don't always have a lot of depth to them. It's a good idea. I'm not in charge of it, but somebody make it happen. Please, and thank you. I'm rambling. Face is done. I don't think I had a cohesive thought the entire time through this, and you guys put up with it. Thank you very much. I will see you next time, and hopefully we have a system going now where I can at least make some videos for you guys. I can't make as many where like I cut in the looks as I do throughout the thing, but I don't know how much those were actually helpful to you. If you want to see, like, if I were to do another palette review where I wear it for a week or two and then talk about my thoughts at the end, if you want to see all those looks, follow me on Instagram. When I do makeup, I post it on Instagram almost every time, so you will see that, and I will tag, I tag what I'm using, what palettes, and if I was going to do a test like that, it would most likely stay within the same palette. So I will talk to you guys next time, hopefully.